Over 60? Let me ask you something right now. When was the last time you stood up from a chair without using your hands, walked up a flight of stairs without holding the railing, or felt truly confident that your legs would support you no matter what? If you've noticed your legs feeling weaker, slower, or less reliable with age, you're not alone. But here's the surprising truth most people over 60 never hear. Losing leg strength is not inevitable. And in some cultures, people stay strong, stable, and mobile well into their 80s and 90s. Today, I want to share something truly powerful with you. These are 6 simple Japanese exercises inspired by daily movements and traditions that many older adults use to rebuild leg strength, improve balance, and, in some cases, dramatically transform how their legs feel. And the best part? You don't need a gym, heavy weights, or intense workouts. Just a few minutes a day, done consistently, can make a real difference.
Leg strength after 60 is not lost forever, and it's something so many people assume is inevitable that they don't even question it. We've been conditioned to think that as the years go by, our muscles simply weaken, our joints stiffen, and our balance becomes fragile, and that there is very little we can do about it. But that's not actually true. What happens with age is that our bodies become less challenged in the ways they need to stay strong. Many older adults fall into habits of sitting more, avoiding stairs, or hesitating to stand from low surfaces, and over time, this lack of engagement leads to muscle atrophy and loss of coordination. The reality is that our bodies are designed to move, and if we continue to move in ways that stimulate the muscles, maintain range of motion, and challenge balance, we can maintain and even regain significant leg strength at any age. This is not just theory, it's a reality that countless people in cultures around the world, particularly in Japan, experience every day. In Japan, people routinely live active, independent lives well into their 80s and 90s, and part of that is due to the way movement is integrated into daily routines, not in extreme workouts or high-intensity training sessions, but in simple, functional movements that the body naturally responds to. When we talk about leg strength after 60, it's important to understand that the decline that is often associated with aging is largely preventable. Muscles do not simply turn off because a birthday passes or because someone reaches retirement age. They respond to stimulus, to load, to engagement, and to mindful movement. Even small adjustments to how we sit, stand, walk, or rise from a chair can send powerful signals to the muscles of the legs, telling them that they are still needed, still capable, and still vital to everyday life. It's also crucial to understand that strength in this context is not measured only by the ability to lift heavy weights or run fast. It's measured by functional capacity, the ability to perform daily tasks, maintain balance, prevent falls, and move confidently. The thighs, glutes, calves, and hip stabilizers are all engaged in activities that we might overlook as mundane: standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, walking on uneven surfaces, or even reaching for something on a high shelf. These everyday actions are exactly the movements that, when trained consistently, can rebuild leg strength, restore mobility, and improve confidence. A lot of people over 60 have experienced moments where they notice their legs feel unreliable. Maybe it's a day when climbing stairs feels heavier, or they notice difficulty rising from a low seat, or perhaps a sense of imbalance creeps in while walking outdoors. These moments can feel discouraging, and many people think it's a sign that their body is failing them. But the truth is, these are signals that the muscles need engagement. They are not indicators of permanent loss. The body is adaptable even later in life, and what often gets in the way is not age itself, but habits of inactivity. The Japanese approach to maintaining leg strength illustrates this beautifully. In Japan, strength is not pursued as a goal in itself, but as a natural outcome of movement integrated into life. People sit on the floor, stand slowly and mindfully, balance naturally as they move through their day, and engage in simple exercises that don't require fancy equipment or extreme effort. These small, repeated movements stimulate the legs, encourage blood flow, and engage stabilizing muscles that are essential for maintaining mobility. The first principle here is consistency. Leg strength is regained not through rare, intense efforts, but through frequent, manageable challenges that the muscles can respond to. This might be as simple as practicing controlled sit-to-stand movements from a chair, slowly standing from a seated position, feeling the muscles of the thighs, glutes, and calves engage as you rise. At first, it may feel challenging because the muscles have become underutilized, but the key is persistence. Over time, these movements start to rebuild not only muscle strength, but also neural connections that help the body coordinate movement more efficiently. Another principle is functional strength. Leg strength after 60 is most useful when it directly improves everyday activities. Unlike younger adults who might focus on squats, lunges, or leg presses primarily for aesthetics or performance, older adults need movements that directly translate into independence and safety. Rising from low surfaces, walking upstairs without gripping the railing, navigating curbs, and maintaining balance on uneven terrain are all examples of functional strength. By training in this way, the legs regain not just power, but purpose. Muscles that may have atrophied or weakened with years of inactivity can respond dramatically when reintroduced to meaningful movement. Many people are surprised at how quickly they feel improvement when they begin engaging the legs in functional exercises, sometimes within a matter of weeks. There's also a psychological aspect of regaining leg strength after 60 that cannot be overstated. Confidence in one's own mobility has a reinforcing effect. The more you trust your legs to hold you steady, the more likely you are to move, and the more you move, the stronger your legs become. It's a feedback loop. Conversely, fear of falling or hesitation to move can accelerate weakness. That's why the exercises that are simple, safe, and repeatable, like those inspired by Japanese traditions, are so powerful. They rebuild strength, yes, but they also rebuild trust in your own body. Another important point is that leg strength isn't just about the large muscles. It's also about the smaller stabilizers, the muscles around the ankles, the hip abductors, the calves, and even the core. These muscles support posture, balance, and coordination. When they weaken, the risk of stumbling or losing stability increases, even if the larger muscles seem reasonably strong. Functional exercises like single leg stands, slow walking with attention to foot placement, and gentle leg lifts engage these stabilizers naturally. They create strength where it matters most, rather than focusing solely on visible muscle size. And while some people may worry that joint pain or stiffness limits their ability to regain strength, the truth is that gentle, controlled exercises often reduce pain over time. Strong muscles support joints, protect cartilage, improve circulation, and increase flexibility. In many cases, what feels like inevitable knee or hip weakness is actually a combination of underused muscles and cautious movement patterns, which can be reversed through consistent practice. It's also worth noting that muscle memory doesn't disappear. Even if someone has been less active for years, the body remembers movement patterns. Re-engaging those patterns, even slowly and carefully, can reignite strength and coordination. You don't have to start from scratch. Small, incremental improvements compound over time. One of the most inspiring aspects of this approach is its accessibility. You don't need to lift hundreds of pounds or invest in expensive equipment. You don't need to dedicate hours a day to the gym. What you need is consistency, awareness, and exercises that target the legs in functional ways. Controlled sit-to-stand movements, gentle squats with wall support, heel raises, single leg balances, slow mindful walking, and leg lifts all provide significant stimulus to the muscles that support mobility. By practicing them daily, even in short sessions, older adults can see meaningful improvements in leg strength, balance, and endurance.
And the benefits go beyond just muscles. There's improved circulation, better joint health, reduced fatigue while walking, and even enhanced mental well-being. Feeling strong, capable, and confident in your own body has a ripple effect on mood, independence, and overall quality of life. The idea that leg strength is permanently lost after a certain age is a myth. It's a myth that keeps people from trying, from moving, from reclaiming the strength that is inherently theirs to regain. By adopting the mindset that strength is responsive, that muscles respond to engagement at any age, older adults can transform how their legs feel, how they move, and how they interact with the world. One of the most profound lessons from Japanese movement philosophy is that strength isn't just built in the gym, it's built in daily life. Every step, every rise from a chair, every careful movement contributes. It's cumulative. The small, repeated actions of daily life, when approached with awareness and intention, have the power to rebuild legs that are strong, stable, and resilient. And it doesn't stop there. Once leg strength begins to return, a positive cycle begins. Confidence grows, activity increases, and with more movement comes even more strength. Many older adults who commit to consistent functional leg exercises report that they are able to walk longer distances, climb stairs more easily, and feel less fatigue in their legs throughout the day. Some even find that hobbies they had stopped doing, whether gardening, dancing, or playing with grandchildren, become possible again. It's a level of independence and vitality that so many people assume is lost with age, but in reality is just waiting to be reclaimed. Understanding this principle, that leg strength after 60 is not lost forever, is the first and most important step. It changes how you approach movement, aging, and your own body. It reframes the way you think about weakness. Instead of seeing it as inevitable, you begin to see it as reversible. You begin to understand that your body is adaptable, responsive, and capable of regaining what it may have lost through inactivity or disuse. The exercises themselves are tools, but the mindset is the foundation. When you accept that you can regain leg strength, you become willing to invest time and attention into movement, and even small, deliberate
Simple daily movements create powerful results, and that is something many people underestimate, especially as we age. There's a common misconception that to build strength or maintain fitness, we need to spend hours at the gym, lift heavy weights, or follow intense workout programs. But the reality is that for older adults, especially those over 60, the exercises that create the most meaningful change are often the ones we already do or can do easily at home. Movements like standing up from a chair, walking slowly and intentionally, balancing on one leg, lifting the legs while seated, or rising onto the balls of the feet may seem almost too simple to matter, yet when done consistently, they engage the right muscles, improve coordination, and strengthen the nervous system in ways that translate directly into functional independence. These are the movements that allow you to climb stairs without gripping the railing, walk longer distances without fatigue, and navigate uneven surfaces with confidence. What makes them so effective is not just the physical aspect, but the way they are integrated into daily life. In Japan, for instance, strength training isn't always about formal exercise routines. It's about weaving movement into ordinary activities, getting up from low seats, squatting to pick something up, walking mindfully, and maintaining posture throughout the day. This approach emphasizes awareness and intention, which makes even small movements count multiple times over. When we think about strength in older adults, it's crucial to focus on functional movement. The muscles that support posture, walking, balance, and climbing stairs are the ones that determine whether you feel confident in your mobility. And the best part is that you don't need complicated equipment or hours at the gym to strengthen them. You just need to move with purpose, repeatedly and consistently. Take the simple act of standing up from a chair, for example. At first glance, it might seem like a mundane action, something we all do dozens of times each day, but it actually requires the coordination and engagement of multiple large muscle groups, the quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and core muscles. When done slowly and deliberately, it becomes a mini strength training session that is both safe and effective. Many older adults over 60 have a tendency to push themselves off chairs with their arms, using momentum rather than leg strength. While this works in the moment, it reduces the workload on the legs, which over time contributes to weakness. By consciously practicing slow, controlled sit-to-stands, the legs are forced to generate the necessary force, which in turn rebuilds strength and endurance. And the beauty of this is that it translates directly into everyday life. The muscles strengthened by this simple movement make climbing stairs easier, reduce the risk of falls, and restore confidence in the leg's ability to support the body. Another example of how simple movements create powerful results is single-leg balance exercises. At first, standing on one leg may seem trivial, even a little silly, but it activates the stabilizing muscles of the ankles, calves, hips, and core muscles. These small muscles often get overlooked, but play a crucial role in preventing falls and maintaining smooth, coordinated movement. By practicing single-leg balance even for a few seconds at a time daily, you are retraining your body to maintain stability, enhancing proprioception, and improving overall leg strength. And you don't need any special equipment to do it. A wall, a chair, or even nothing at all can provide enough support to safely practice this movement while still challenging the muscles in the right way. Then there's slow, mindful walking. Walking may seem like the most basic movement we do, but when performed with awareness, it becomes a full-body exercise that strengthens the legs, improves circulation, and enhances balance. Paying attention to the way your feet roll from heel to toe, engaging your core and maintaining posture, transforms walking from a passive activity into a powerful, low-impact strength session. Many older adults find that after incorporating mindful walking into their daily routine, their legs feel more energized, their knees feel more stable, and walking longer distances becomes less tiring. Even small increments, like walking a few extra steps each day, add up over time, creating cumulative improvements that are far more sustainable than occasional intense workouts. Heel raises, another seemingly simple movement, provide yet another example of the power of small, repeated actions. Standing near a chair for support and rising onto the balls of the feet may not feel challenging at first, but it strengthens the calves, improves ankle mobility, and engages the stabilizing muscles that are critical for balance. Doing just a few repetitions several times a day can lead to noticeable improvements in leg strength, posture, and circulation, which in turn makes walking, climbing stairs, and even standing for long periods easier. What makes all these movements particularly effective is their frequency and consistency. It's not about doing 50 repetitions once a week, it's about doing a few mindful repetitions multiple times every day. This constant engagement keeps muscles active, stimulates the nervous system, and reinforces movement patterns that are essential for daily life. In other words, the results come not from intensity, but from the cumulative effect of small, purposeful actions performed consistently. One of the most powerful aspects of simple movements is how accessible they are. Many older adults avoid exercise because they think it's too complicated, too exhausting, or too risky for their joints. But these functional movements are safe, gentle, and adaptable to any fitness level. You can start from a seated position, hold on to a chair or wall for support, and progress gradually as your strength and confidence improve. This accessibility removes barriers, making it much more likely that the movements will be performed regularly, which is ultimately what produces results. Another reason simple movements are so effective is that they engage multiple muscle groups at once. Unlike isolated exercises that target a single muscle, functional movements like standing, walking, and balancing require coordination between legs, core, and even upper body. This integrated approach not only strengthens the muscles, but also improves the body's ability to work as a cohesive system. This is particularly important for older adults because falls and injuries often happen when coordination or balance is compromised. When the body learns to move efficiently as a unit, the risk of injury decreases and the legs become stronger in a functional, meaningful way. And while the exercises themselves are simple, they have a profound psychological impact as well. Many older adults experience fear or hesitation when moving, worrying about falling or straining a joint. By practicing movements that are manageable, safe, and repeatable, the confidence in one's own mobility grows. This confidence reinforces activity, which in turn strengthens the legs even more. It's a positive feedback loop that enhances both physical and mental well-being. It's also worth noting that simple movements can be performed virtually anywhere. You don't need a gym, a pool, or specialized equipment. A chair, a countertop, a small patch of floor, or even the stairs in your home is enough to practice these movements. This means there are no excuses for skipping them, and their integration into daily routines becomes seamless. Over time, this consistency compounds into noticeable strength gains, improved balance, and enhanced endurance. The effectiveness of simple daily movements is further supported by scientific understanding of muscle adaptation. Muscles respond to load and engagement, even if that load is your own body weight and the movements are low intensity. The key is repeated activation that challenges the muscles in a controlled, progressive way. The nervous system also plays a role, retraining the body to move efficiently, improving coordination, and increasing proprioception. This is why movements like slow sit-to-stands, heel raises, leg lifts, and balance exercises work so well, because they activate the muscles, joints, and nervous systems simultaneously. Another important point is that simple movements reduce the risk of injury compared to high-intensity workouts. Many older adults avoid exercise because they fear falling or straining a joint, but functional exercises are inherently safer because they mimic real-life movements and are performed at a manageable pace. Over time, this safety builds trust in the body and allows the person to increase difficulty gradually without undue risk. And while these movements are simple, they do not have to be boring. Mindfulness can transform them into a meditative practice where attention to posture, alignment, and controlled motion makes each repetition purposeful. This not only maximizes the physical benefits, but also enhances mental focus, calm, and awareness. Many older adults report feeling more connected to their bodies and more present in their daily activities after incorporating mindful movement practices into their routine. Perhaps most importantly, the results of simple, consistent daily movements extend beyond leg strength. They impact overall mobility, cardiovascular health, joint stability, posture, and even energy levels. The legs become more resilient, movement becomes easier, and independence is preserved. Over time, these small, consistent actions compound into a foundation for lifelong mobility and vitality. And the key takeaway is that it doesn't matter how old you are or what your current fitness level is. You don't need to run a marathon, lift heavy weights, or follow complex exercise regimens. What matters is that you move intentionally, engage your muscles, and practice consistently. Each step, each rise from a chair, each balance, each leg lift, and each heel raise sends a signal to your body that it is needed and capable. Over weeks and months, those signals translate into real, measurable strength, balance, and endurance improvements that make a tangible difference.
Consistency and awareness matter more than intensity, and this is a principle that so many people overlook when it comes to maintaining or rebuilding leg strength after 60. We live in a culture that often glorifies extremes, hard workouts, heavy lifting, long runs, high-intensity training. But for older adults, especially those over 60, these extremes can be counterproductive or even risky. What truly makes a difference is the steady, mindful engagement of the body, done consistently over time in ways that respect your joints, muscles, and overall capabilities. The truth is, muscles do not respond to occasional bursts of intensity as much as they respond to frequent, deliberate stimulus. If you practice small, manageable movements every day, you activate the muscles, improve blood flow, and reinforce neural pathways that support coordination and balance. Over weeks and months, this daily, consistent effort accumulates into real strength, endurance, and functional ability. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that intensity is the key. They think that in order to regain strength, they need to lift heavy weights, push their bodies to fatigue, or spend long hours exercising. While these approaches may work for younger adults, for someone over 60, they often result in soreness, fatigue, or even injury, which can discourage movement entirely. Instead, gentle, purposeful exercises performed regularly build strength in a sustainable way. It's not about the number of repetitions or the amount of weight, but about the regular activation of the muscles and the awareness of how the body moves. Awareness is just as critical as consistency. Many people go through the motions of exercise without truly engaging their muscles or paying attention to posture, alignment, and form. This can reduce effectiveness and even cause strain. By moving with mindfulness, feeling each muscle work, controlling the speed of movement, maintaining alignment, and breathing steadily, you maximize the benefits of each repetition. Take, for example, a simple sit-to-stand exercise. It's not just about standing up and sitting down repeatedly. If you rush through it using momentum, you miss the opportunity to engage the quads, glutes, hamstrings, and core fully. But if you do it slowly, deliberately, and with attention to posture and breath, you are sending strong signals to your muscles to activate, strengthen, and coordinate. This same principle applies to all movements, whether it's a heel raise, a single leg balance, a slow leg lift, or mindful walking. Each repetition, when performed with awareness and consistency, compounds over time into noticeable improvements. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that intensity is the key. They think that in order to regain strength, they need to lift heavy weights, push their bodies to fatigue, or spend long hours exercising. While these approaches may work for younger adults, for someone over 60, they often result in soreness, fatigue, or even injury, which can discourage movement entirely. Instead, gentle, purposeful exercises performed regularly build strength in a sustainable way. It's not about the number of repetitions or the amount of weight, but about the regular activation of the muscles and the awareness of how the body moves. Awareness is just as critical as consistency. Many people go through the motions of exercise without truly engaging their muscles or paying attention to posture, alignment, and form. This can reduce effectiveness and even cause strain. By moving with mindfulness, feeling each muscle work, controlling the speed of movement, maintaining alignment, and breathing steadily, you maximize the benefits of each repetition. Take, for example, a simple sit-to-stand exercise. It's not just about standing up and sitting down repeatedly. If you rush through it using momentum, you miss the opportunity to engage the quads, glutes, hamstrings, and core fully. But if you do it slowly, deliberately, and with attention to posture and breath, you are sending strong signals to your muscles to activate, strengthen, and coordinate. This same principle applies to all movements, whether it's a heel raise, a single leg balance, a slow leg lift, or mindful walking. Each repetition, when performed with awareness and consistency, compounds over time into noticeable improvements. One of the reasons consistency is so powerful is that the body adapts quickly to repeated stimulus. When muscles are activated regularly, even for short periods, they grow stronger, joints become more stable, and the nervous system becomes more efficient at coordinating movement. These adaptations are far more impactful in daily life than occasional intense workouts because they directly translate into functional strength and balance. Many older adults underestimate what their bodies are capable of achieving through consistent, mindful movement. They may think, "I've lost strength with age, there's nothing I can do now." But the body is remarkably resilient and responsive, and even small, repeated movements, practiced daily, can lead to significant gains over time. It's a matter of commitment, not intensity. Another important aspect is habit formation. Consistency doesn't happen by accident. It happens when movements become part of your daily routine. When exercises are simple, safe, and easy to perform at home, it's much more likely that you'll do them every day. This is why functional, Japanese-inspired exercises are so effective for older adults. They are designed to integrate into daily life rather than requiring separate time-consuming routines. Once movements are habitual, the benefits multiply. Consistent practice strengthens the muscles, improves balance, enhances flexibility, and builds confidence. Confidence, in turn, encourages more movement, creating a positive feedback loop where strength, balance, and mobility reinforce each other. Awareness also plays a role in preventing injury. Older adults are often cautious because they fear falling or straining a joint, and this caution can sometimes lead to overly stiff or hesitant movement patterns. Mindful practice allows you to engage muscles effectively while respecting your body's limits. By paying attention to posture, control, and alignment, you reduce the risk of injury while maximizing the benefits of each exercise. Even small adjustments like engaging the core during a sit-to-stand, keeping knees aligned during a squat, or focusing on foot placement during walking make a big difference over time. It's also important to recognize that progress may feel slow at first, but that is entirely normal. Strength, balance, and mobility improve gradually, and each day of consistent practice adds up. Patience is part of the process, and awareness allows you to notice even subtle improvements, which reinforce motivation and encourage continued practice. Many older adults are surprised by how quickly they feel changes when they commit to consistency. They may start noticing that stairs feel easier, standing from a chair feels smoother, walking feels more stable, and their legs feel less fatigued by the end of the day. These are real, measurable improvements that occur not because of intensity, but because of regular, mindful engagement. Another factor is the cumulative effect of integrating movement into everyday life. The exercises themselves are important, but so is moving with awareness throughout the day. Standing tall while cooking, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, shifting weight from one foot to another while brushing your teeth, or simply walking with attention to posture and foot placement are all ways to strengthen legs and improve balance. When movements are embedded in daily routines, consistency becomes almost effortless. The body is in a state of constant, gentle training that produces lasting results. And this approach does more than just build strength. It improves coordination, joint stability, and mobility, all of which are essential for independence and quality of life after 60. Strong legs allow you to perform daily tasks with confidence, reduce the risk of falls, and maintain an active lifestyle. Consistency and awareness work together. One without the other is less effective. You can move every day without paying attention, but the results will be limited. You can be mindful during movement occasionally, but without repetition, the muscles won't adapt. The combination of steady practice and focused attention creates lasting change. It's a mindset shift. Instead of viewing exercise as something you have to do in long, intense sessions, you begin to see it as a way of living, a set of small choices that accumulate into real improvements over time. This is empowering because it removes pressure, reduces fear, and makes progress achievable and sustainable. Many older adults experience mental benefits as well. Awareness during movement can reduce stress, increase mental clarity, and create a sense of control over one's body. This mental engagement reinforces physical progress, creating a holistic approach to health and strength. Consistency also allows for gradual progression. As muscles adapt to repeated, mindful practice, you can increase duration, range of motion, or repetitions without risking injury. This steady progression keeps the body challenged in safe ways, further enhancing strength, balance, and coordination. Over time, what seemed like small, simple movements accumulate into a foundation of functional fitness. Simple exercises like sit-to-stands, heel raises, leg lifts, and single-leg balances, performed consistently and with awareness, become the building blocks for stronger legs, better posture, and more confident movement. And the results are practical. They are not abstract gains in the gym. They are real improvements that you feel in your daily life. You notice walking becomes easier,
Climbing stairs requires less effort, standing for longer periods is more comfortable, and your overall mobility and independence are enhanced.